exams. Minister of State fires head of Zanzibar's fire brigade force. And in sports, Samatta's goal sends Fenerbahce into Turkish Cup quarter-finals. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. A total of 373,958 candidates, the same as 85.84% of 654 candidates that set for the Form 4 National Exams 2020 have passed the exams, which is an increase of 5.9% in comparison to 2019.
Wasichana waliofaulu ni 193,672 sawa na 85.4% ya wasichana waliofanya mtihani, na wavulana waliofaulu wako 180,286 ni sawa na 86.27% ya wavulana waliofanya mtihani. Mwaka wa 2019 watahiniwa 340,914 sawa na 80.65% ya watahiniwa wa shule ndio walifaulu mitihani hiyo, na hivyo matokeo ya mwaka huu 2020 ufaulu wa watahiniwa wa shule umeongezeka kwa 5.19% ikilinganishwa na mwaka wa 2019.
The Minister of State in the President's Office for Regional Administration and Special Divisions, Masood Ali Mohammed, has fired the head of the Fire Brigade Force in Zanzibar and some key officials of the government on allegations of corruption and misappropriation of public funds.
Kwa mamlaka niliyokasimiwa na mamlaka yenye dhamana ya uteuzi kisheria, na msimamisha kazi naibu kamishna wa kikosi cha zimamoto na uokozi Zanzibar.
I'm suspending from duty the Deputy Commissioner of the Fire and Rescue Unit, Zanzibar, to pave way for investigation. Perhaps we could save just 200 million, but those that are still enjoying allowances, which is not their right according to the law, meaning that loss of public finance will continue to take place.
The Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, has led the Council of Ministers meeting in Dodoma so as to review 3 key recommendations, including recommendations of the third plan for the 5-year development plan for 2021, 2025 to 2026, as well as reviewing the guideline for preparation of the government budget for 2021-2022 and the recommendations for the National Development Plan for 2020-2021. Moving on, residents of Kalambo District, Rukwa region have complained of constant cut-off of connection on the road that Chimilangwi Bridge when it rains, as the bridge is small and forces people to wait to 2 to 4 hours for the water levels to reduce so that they could continue with their trip.
We're calling
on the government to intervene and renovate this road. When it rains heavily, the bridge becomes impassable. When the river overflows, this bridge becomes a nightmare for residents. I'm calling on Tarura to expand the bridge. The bridge is narrow. That is why when it rains heavily, challenges occur. Our plan as Tarura is to renovate the bridge by constructing a bigger bridge that will handle flow of water from the river and during the rain season. Now, residents of Ihumwa ward on the outskirts of Dodoma city have complained of poor road and bridges infrastructure, especially during the rain season, which causes transport issues with students forced to stay at home.
Tunapata shida sana. Kwa mfano wafanyabiashara wadogo hawa
Public transport doesn't go beyond the end of the tarmac road, which makes it very hard for small business owners. I'm asking them to look into this problem. When the road is good, everything good follows.
TARURA kwa maana ya matengenezo barabara zinazoathirika na mvua kwa mkoa wa Dodoma, tumejipanga kuhakikisha kwamba maeneo mengi yanapitika.
TARURA is prepared to make a lot of areas accessible, especially those that were affected by the rain.
Small farmers from 6 regions that produce a high quantity of food in the country have asked the government to revoke all bad contracts, including international ones, in the agricultural sector, as their effects nationally are as significant as in mineral sector.
Kuna mbegu hizi zilizoboreshwa nyingi zinazalishwa nje ya nchi.
A lot of improved seeds are produced outside the country, and this is a concern.
Zinazalishwa nje ya nchi.
Zikiwa shambani unaanza kuwa na pambu mgongoni.
The seeds are infected even after the harvest.
Nyumbani
mipango yote ile ya kitaalamu ni kweli kwamba ni mbegu ambazo ni nzuri, ni tamu, ni mbegu ambazo zinastahimili.
Seeds must be improved for better yield.
Inamuondoa mkulima katika ile adha ya kila wakati kwenda dukani kwenda kununua mbegu kila wakati.
Midwives and nurses of Muhimbili National Hospital Mloganzila, in helping citizens reduce the number of deaths caused by non-communicable diseases, have decided to provide health screening services for various diseases, as well as providing medical consultations and advice.
Kwa kuona jitihada ya wauguzi wa Mloganzila, basi hospitali ya taifa Muhimbili kwa upande wa Mloganzila imeamua kuunga mkono juhudi hizi.
Everyone who shows non-communicable disease symptoms will receive consultation from specialists free of charge.
Na zawadi yetu ni kutoa huduma ya upimaji wa afya bure.
We are offering free medical examination given the high number of non-communicable diseases caused by certain lifestyle. This will help us fight non-communicable diseases.
Kwa nimefika, ni kweli huduma ni nzuri, ni kwa ajili ya kucheki afya, mambo ya pressure.
The service is good. I've been able to get tested for diabetes and blood pressure. Luckily, the results came back good, but there was an issue concerning my weight.
And 3,900 villagers are still experiencing communication challenges, with the government placing them in its working plan as part of strategies to ensure communication services reach the villagers and consequently raise the community's economy.
Hivi tuko katika kuona ni namna gani tunaweza tukatafuta teknolojia rahisi ya kuweza kuwafikia Watanzania.
We are looking at a more friendly technology for Tanzanians. We would like them to get the same service but using a cheaper technology.
Tumepewa majukumu makubwa sana ya kuhakikisha kwamba Tanzania inaingia katika uchumi wa dijitali.
We have a responsibility to ensure Tanzania enters a digital economy, that in the 4th industrial revolution Tanzania has a part, as well as in e-commerce.
Nimshukuru Mheshimiwa Waziri kwa kikao kirefu, kikao cha kimkakati, kikao cha kujenga, cha kuboresha, cha kuimarisha.
To create a conducive environment to start up our own smartphone factories inside the country, we hope to build such a factory in Mwanza.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows shortly. And in international news, the police force in the Democratic Republic of Congo have rescued citizens that had been invaded by ADF rebels, many of whom were women and children, during clashes from yesterday evening to early this morning. Over a year and a half before the general elections in Kenya, the Vice President William Ruto has continued with campaigns looking for support from Kenya to be elected into office next year, while also criticizing President Uhuru Kenyatta on his successor.
Wale ambao waliongea kama unachoka na familia hii, unachoka na familia hii, sasa ni nafasi sijui ya nani, basi kama hiyo ndio thinking ama logic, hata mimi naweza nisimame hapa basi niseme.
Sisi tunataka kuambia wale wanatuambia mambo ya rotational presidency ama rotational leadership ama rotational governor ama rotational MPs ama rotational MCAs, tunataka tuwaambie we are not interested in leadership that is arrived at through lottery on ethnicity or clan or other petty issues.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly after the break. We'll be right back.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news tonight, tree farmers in the country will begin to receive tree seeds at an affordable cost after the government of Finland and Tanzania, through the Plant Trees Commercially project, began to produce tree seeds, something that will help farmers benefit from the seeds that can withstand diseases and mature quickly. Most farmers in Tanzania are cultivating patula. Unfortunately, when the disease occurs, everybody incurs losses. That is why we have introduced this new species. We advise farmers to consider this method so as to avoid complications. So far, seedlings are imported at higher costs, leaving no option to farmers apart from continuing with the traditional species. We expect harvest in a few years to come, then we can do research on them. 50 tons of cotton seeds have continued to be distributed in villages in various wards of Gairo, Malinyi, Kilosa, Mvomero and Olanga districts as part of government efforts to revive the crop, which is one of the strategic crops aimed at growing the country's economy.
Kwanza kwa watendaji wa serikali wanapaswa kulisimamia hili jambo.
Government officers are responsible in setting up good example of cotton farming and face all challenges that are complained by cotton farmers. That is the only way we can come up with lasting solutions. We are happy that seeds have arrived early. It will allow me to start planting the crop early. And the government has said it will not hesitate to intervene on cooperative union activities if they find signs that leaders of the unions are misappropriating funds and property so as to stop them and ensure that the cooperative unions thrive. For our security officers, I urge you to be ethical at work. Otherwise, stern measures will be taken against you. Try to elect leaders that will be ready to protect interests of the union. Government is there to ensure excellence of cooperatives in the country. If there are no theft or embezzlement, then the government will have no intention of doing investigations. We are aware that there are people whose intentions are to take money. I remind you that our government is not asleep. That is the end of business news. Sports news follows next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose to Lent.
In sports news tonight, Bwana Samatta has sent Fenerbahce into the Turkish Cup quarterfinals after he scored the only goal in their 1-0 win over Kasimpasa. Here's the report.
Samatta separated the teams with his 51st minute strike, which ended his 9-game goal drought for the Yellow Canaries since he bagged a brace against Fatih Karagümrük in a league fixture back in October. The Tanzanian striker was later replaced in the 69th minute, while Senegal's Papi Cissé played the duration, and his compatriot Mehmet Thiam was introduced as a 46th minute substitute. Thursday's effort stretched Samatta's tally to 3 goals after 12 appearances in all competitions since he moved to Turkey on a season loan from Aston Villa in September.
Yanga SC coach Cedric Kaze has claimed Tanzania champion Simba SC are not as dangerous as a team without midfield star Clatous Chama. Here more details.
The Burundian tactician lifted his first trophy with the Jangwani Giants after guiding them to a 4-3 win on penalties against the Wekundu wa Msimbazi in the final of the Mapinduzi Cup, played at Aman Stadium in Zanzibar on Wednesday night. Both Simba and Yanga went into the Derby final missing some of their key players, but it was the absence of Zambian midfielder Chama, who was given time off by his club, that caught the eye of Kaze. Apart from Chama, Simba faced their Kariakoo rivals without 10 players: Luis Mikison, Larry Bwalia, Jonas Mkude, Pascal Wawa, Charles Ilanfia, Aishi Manula, John Boko, Erasto Nyoni, Shomari Kapombe, and Said Ndemla.
Azam FC have received a major boost after their striker Prince Dube resumed training with the rest of the squad members on Thursday.
The Zimbabwean star injured his ulnar on the left hand during their mainland Premier League defeat to Yanga Sports Club after just a quarter of an hour of the derby played at Chamazi Stadium in late November, and the club organized for him to undergo further treatment in South Africa. After undergoing successful surgery in Cape Town, the club then ruled him out of action for 6 weeks, and his injury affected the team's performances, especially in the league, where they posted a run of 6 straight matches without a win and finally dropped from the top of the 18-team table. Azam have now confirmed Dube has returned to training on their social media pages, with photos of the player training with the rest of the team.
Marcus Rashford has revealed a pep talk from the former Manchester United manager Jose Mourinho helped him become more savvy in the penalty area.
Rashford received the Football Writers Association 2021 Tribute Award on Thursday, and in a wide-ranging interview was asked why United might be perceived to be getting more than their fair share of penalties. The question came in the wake of Jurgen Klopp's recent comment that United had been given more penalties in 2 years than he had in 5.5 years as Liverpool manager, which sparked some irritation at Old Trafford. Rashford believes the connection he has established with fellow frontmen Anthony Martial and Bruno Fernandes make United more dangerous as they go in search for silverware this season.
And footballers who have continued to hug when celebrating goals despite the worsening coronavirus crisis have been brainless. This is according to the chair of the key Parliamentary Sports Committee.
Manchester City and Fulham players crowded together after scoring in their respective matches on Wednesday. The Premier League's latest COVID protocols make no explicit reference to the celebrations, but call on players to avoid unnecessary contact. Pep Guardiola defended City's players, saying, "Sometimes the brain is a subconscious one, and you're just there in the moment, you're not thinking." The Football Association has asked clubs to observe protocols not only as they are written, but to subscribe to their spirit.
Well, and that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbo. Thank you for watching, and good night.